Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Sbruggy, and joining me tonight is Derek down there in Elkhart. How's it going down there, Derek?
Pretty good, man. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right. Just cruising right along. Celebrated my older daughter's 20th birthday today, and cannot believe that kid's 20 already. It blows my mind.
Yeah.
It really does, man. Just absolutely blows my mind. Teens, like kids are all, they're all grown up and adults now.
Yeah, you're having some connectivity issues every once in a while. You're jolty, buddy.
Huh.
It's kind of clear.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on there.
What kind of cake did y'all have?
It was chocolate. She likes chocolate. She wanted half chocolate, half red velvet, but Dylan's couldn't do that. So, oops, forgot to silence that. I need to do that real quick because I have a feeling if I don't, that's going to be a problem.
So I do a podcast with my buddy Rob Wilson. He coached his last game on Friday night last week, and then so he retired from 36 years of coaching. So my kids, it was like a vanilla cake with some kind of blue frosting, and I've had like 3 pieces of it, and I feel awful right now.
Wow. I'm going through trying to pull a few flashes. I forgot to pull them all. Well, I'm doing really good today.
What's up, Rob?
Too much going on today. Too much going on, man. Oh, I've been a busy week. Trying to get my situation with my van squared away and working, and just my younger daughter, she been helping her out, getting back and forth to work and stuff, and I guess I'm just not busy enough. I don't know.
Yeah, but
it is what it is, though. Is what it is. I don't mind, though. I don't mind helping my kids out when I can. It's fun.
So
it keeps me young.
So U-Haul truck hit your van, and then you kind of got that squared away this week. You're all good on that front, or?
Well, they went ahead and told me I could either turn it over to them for X amount of dollars, or I could keep it for an X amount of dollars, which is less than if I was to turn it over to them. But I don't care. I'm going to keep my van, so I guess I'll go ahead and accept that and just be done with it. Because I don't feel like haggling and fighting around with it. I just want to be done with it. So We'll see how that goes.
That's what I was going to suggest you do, man. Just let them total it, buy it back. And your van, the damage was very minimal. So
yeah, it was.
You can still drive that thing.
At best, yeah, it's still completely drivable. At best, I just want to get the taillight taken care of, and that's about it.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, leave the studio and come back. Let's see if we can clean up those connectivity issues. And then I'll go ahead and get some stuff rolling here while you're checking in and out, and we can get the ball rolling.
Okay.
What is brand settings? Yeah, while Ricky's checking in and out real quick, he'll leave the studio and then come back. Just a quick update on the missing moms case. The Paul Grice and Cora are both not going to be. They're forfeiting their right to a speedy trial and everything. So the scuttlebutt on the street is everybody thinks that they have turned state's witness. Me and Norm have been covering it. Hope may have covered a little bit. You can check out Shenanigans. You can check out Carrie Moody. They're doing wonderful things as far as keeping the public notified. But I don't think there's going to be like any new hearings or anything until December, from what I'm gathering. Let's see if we can see you any better. Let me add Ricky to the page. How you look?
On my end, I look all right. I don't know.
Oh yeah, dude, you're good to go, man. Well, cool. Let's go ahead and get into some cases here, man. Let's talk about Dietrich Foster. Go ahead, buddy.
Cool. Okay. Dietrich Foster is missing from Independence, Kansas since April 12, 2020. He was 37 when he went missing. He's now 42. He's 5'9", 190 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. He was reported missing on May 12th of 2020. He was last seen around April 12, 2020 in Independence. KBI agents and detectives from the Independence Police Department are conducting the case as a homicide based upon findings during the investigation into Dietrich's disappearance. Again, at the time of his disappearance, he was 37. He's now 42. He's 5'9", 190 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes, has a scar on his chest from heart surgery, a scar on the right side of his nose. He has the following tattoos: a cross on his right forearm, the astrological sign for Gemini on his right arm, 3 dice on his arm, the name Dejeuner on his arm, and the word Foo on his abdomen. If you have any information regarding Dietrich's disappearance, or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Independence, Kansas Police Department at 620-332-1700 or KBI at 785-296-4017. And as we've mentioned before, there is a governor's reward of $5,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for the disappearance and suspected murder of Dietrich Foster. So if anybody has any information at all, no matter how small you think it might be, just go ahead and get that called in as soon as you can and see if it may be an important piece of what they need.
Do you follow that Facebook page that's dedicated to Dietrich?
I haven't looked at it in a little while. Is there anything new that I might have missed?
I mean, it's kind of like the Alexander Perez and a lot of the other higher profile. Any case where you're hearing police talk about homicide, but they don't have a body, like we're just showing missing persons reports, missing persons posters.
Right.
It just seems like there's quite a bit of talk on there. Like if you go to like Colton Barrera, if you go to his Facebook page, in the description, they publicly name 3 suspects. They don't call them suspects. They say these 3 people did it and got away with it.
Oh,
so
wow.
some of these pages are kind of, I kind of feel leery of sharing them just because, I mean, I get it. Whoever's running those pages probably knows a lot more about the situation than the general public. But, you got to be careful calling somebody a murderer in the public. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I mean, that's grounds for, slander and defamation of character and all of that. So, yeah, you got to be careful.
Connie Judd is here. Terry Chabruggi is here. Bianca, Jessica K. Jensen, and Bianca's here. I'm gonna try. Every time it seems like I post a comment, Ricky's mic walks out, but that was before he came back. I'm gonna try to read the comments tonight rather than post them. But okay. Please chime in. Let us know how you're feeling. Let us know any questions or comments you have, and we will present them. Let's talk about
Jessica.
Go ahead.
All right. I was going to say Jessica Jensen's here. That's John Jensen's daughter, and I do have him pulled for tonight for the show too. So yeah. Let's see. This is Alex Perez, Mr. Ulysses, Kansas, since December 1st, 2020. He's 35 when he went missing. He's now 39. He's 5'11", weighs 235 pounds, has black hair that he shaves nearly bald and brown eyes. He called a family member via telephone on December 1st and said he'd be coming to their home to wash some laundry. He never arrived at the family member's home in Ulysses. Alexander's not been heard from or seen by family or friends since then. He had been staying with family and friends prior to his disappearance. Again, at the time of his disappearance, he's 35. He's now 39. He's 5'11", weighs 235 pounds. He has black hair that he shaves nearly bald and brown eyes. He does have a tattoo of a bumblebee on his face underneath his left eye. He has Perez tattooed on one of his arms. He has a tattoo of a cross on a chain across his chest. If you have any information regarding Alexander's disappearance, or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Grant County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-356-3500 or the Ulysses, Kansas Police Department at 620-356-4600 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get Alex located and back home to where he needs to be. And the last update you gave us on his case was the gentleman that they initially were going to charge in his case, they decided not to.
Yeah. Well, our source had said that he had a laundry list of other charges. So I don't know how he fared on any of his other cases that he was up against, but he did say they were dropping the charges against as far as AJ's homicide, which puts you, to me, like, I think if we're honest, I think even people who were closest to AJ were kind of surprised that they made an arrest, because there's no body. Everybody's been, this is a case that you and I and the family and a lot of people have been pushing for, like it was 3 years, 4 years before they made an arrest. So it's kind of hard to think that you're back at square one where it's literally just a missing person again. There's nobody being held with the word murder attached to it anymore.
No. We've been covering his case, just since shortly after he went missing back in 2020. So we've been every week for 4 years. We've been talking about Alex.
Yeah.
So, or coming up on 4 years, I guess, in a couple of months. But yeah.
It's
crazy. I mean, it's got to be hard on the family too, because you think, okay, they made an arrest, they're making strides, they're getting close, and then all of a sudden, like, oh nope, we're not going to press charges after all. So it's like taking a step backwards.
Yeah,
that's got to be hard.
Well, I'm not gonna go too deep into it tonight, but like I've been kind of putting together. There's a pattern of people like Alexander who are either went missing or they died suspiciously, or that maybe they passed away and their death is ruled a suicide, and then any family member you talk to is like, we don't think it was a suicide. Those suspicious deaths. A lot of them were informants, like where the police were basically following them around and trying to catch bigger fish, utilizing people like Alexander, in the informant program. And to me, like anytime you're, again, like you and I probably both, I think we both respect the police quite a bit, but I think from perspective, if you're from a world where you're on the murky underlayer of the world and you're seen one too many times walking out of a police station, you're in danger, in my opinion, so I feel like, Alexander, a lot of these cases where, and again, it's just the way things happen. That's how we do things. We try to solve cases and stuff. And, but like I said, I was surprised, I think just like everybody, whenever there was an arrest made and they used the word murder, but I feel bad for Irene. I feel bad for all of our sources who are related to him. Like it's going to keep going. We'll hit, when December, it'll be 4 years. And then, it's just really, really sad to see it just keep going with no answers, no body, nothing really. I want to shout out to my friend Beth Fernandez Everett. She's awesome. She lives in the West Coast. She's cool. She's an author, a true crime author. Maybe she should work on some of these. I hope we can find Kenny. We are going to talk about Kenny Rychek tonight. Hello. This has a new sheriff, so hopefully things with missing people will start. So okay, so Phillipsburg has a new sheriff. Is what she's saying.
Wow, that's cool. Definitely cool.
Yeah. Kenny Rychek.
Yeah, that's our old buddy Kenny. I was just looking up some that I'll get into that after I cover Kenny here. He's missing from here in Salina, Kansas since November 4th, 2019. He was 69 when he went missing. Goodness gracious. He's 74 now. He's 5'9", 175 pounds, gray hair and blue eyes. Does sometimes use the last name Brown instead of his given name. He does suffer from diminished mental health capabilities, and he is on disability. He has not tried to access any of his money since he was last seen. He may have family in northwest Kansas, possibly around Colby. He was last seen at the Gospel Mission in Salina. He left there and has not been seen or heard from since that time. He does not have a cell phone, a vehicle, or any identification. His main mode of transportation was his bicycle that he rode around and picked up scrap metal and sold it for pocket cash. Again, the time of his disappearance, he was 69. He's now 74. He's 5'9" and weighs about 175 pounds. Has gray hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Kenny's disappearance, or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210, or Crime Stoppers at 785-825-8477, or you can text SA Tips to Crimes, which is 274-637, or visit www.pd.salina.org and follow the Crime Stoppers link to submit a tip, or you can call the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get Kenny located. And I was just looking at that fundraiser. You know, we were talking about the unidentified remains they found in the west part of town over off Magnolia Road in the creek bed there, the mushroom hunters did. And recently KWCH put out an article, it's been probably a couple months ago or so now, about Slim County Sheriff's Office raising money to help try to identify those remains, because the initial tests they couldn't pull enough DNA for a profile, so they wanted to get it into a better lab that has more capabilities to be able to do stuff like that. They're trying to raise $7,500, and I have it pulled up here on my phone. They're currently at $4,017.38, so they're over halfway toward their goal. I'm going to put that link back up with a screenshot here after a while after we get done doing the show, because I want to keep everybody updated, make sure everybody has that link in case they do want to donate. But it's the website's dnasolves.com. But yeah, but like I say, they're 4,017.38. They're trying to reach 7,500, so they're over halfway. So they're getting there.
Well, I'm glad they crossed over into 4,000. They were in 3,000 for a little while.
Let's see, what's my brother saying down here? Did some research on the name Right Check in the Salina Journal archives, found some obituaries with some people with that last name, but none list Kenny as a survivor. That name is not a common name. Seemed weird that he wasn't listed in any of the obits I found. Yeah, that is interesting. All of the ones I found were out of northwest Kansas. Well, that's where Colby is northwest Kansas. So
yeah,
that's where it's at. So if we had family up there, then yeah. I don't know.
And then if he had payees, I don't even think that necessarily means that they were related to him. I don't know how that works, but he might not have any family at all in the Salina area.
Thanks for hanging out with us, Kelsey. Haven't seen you for a while or talked to you for a while.
What's up, girl? All right, there you go. Rochelle Elizabeth Hammond.
Okay. Now they found those skeleton bones. They ever find out they belong? No, not yet. I was here in town, and there was some other ones I found. There was some they did identify that was not here in town. I can't think of who they were. I have to go back and
Rose Hill, that little girl.
Oh yeah, there was that one in Rose Hill that they had found, and there was another male that they identified too and made an arrest on too. And I can't think of what his name is. Okay, let's see. This is Rochelle Elizabeth Hammond, missing from Moscow, Colorado since August 15, 2019. She was 30 when she went missing. She's now 35. She's 5'6", 120 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She was last seen walking away from her Moscow, Colorado home. She left all of her belongings behind, including her phone, her ID, her medication, her car, computer, tools, and pet dog. Rochelle had been living in the area for about 3 weeks prior to her disappearance, and she previously lived in the Columbus, Ohio area. She may be homeless, although police can find little evidence in her disappearance. Her mother believes she did not leave of her own accord and may have been a human trafficking victim. She does suffer from bipolar disorder and schizophrenia and has been prescribed medication for her conditions, which she did leave behind. Her nose is pierced. She has numerous tattoos, including the phrase "live like a lion" on her upper chest, the star behind her ear, a skull on the back of her wrist, stars on the inside of her forearm, a cat with a bong on her shoulder, and other tattoos. There are the main ones that I talked about shown down there at the bottom there. She was last known to be wearing a black tank top, khaki shorts, black Nike shoes, and she has a silver circular barbell in her nose. If you have any information regarding Rochelle's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Alamosa County, Colorado Sheriff's Office at 719-589-6608 and see if we can help get Rochelle located and back to where she needs to be. And you can see that circular barbell in her nose in all 4 photos there. So, yep.
So she was only in Colorado for like 3 weeks from all the way in Ohio?
Yeah.
That's a
Yep.
long way from home.
Yeah. Hopefully she didn't experience some kind of a episode and decide to try to maybe walk back to Ohio or something. I don't know. I mean, possible, I guess.
You ever heard of, let me see.
There's another Colorado case. I need to update his flyer and see if he's still missing. His name is Thomas Cook that was missing from, I can't think of where it was. It was somewhere in Colorado, and they feared he was trying to walk back to wherever in Kansas he originally was from, and hasn't been seen or heard from since that time. I need to see if his flyers needs updated. I just got to thinking about that.
You ever heard of Jim Sullivan?
It kind of rings a bell.
Who's
he?
He was a guy. He was in that movie Easy Riders, but he was unaccredited.
Oh, okay.
But he put out an album in the 70s, and he his album's called UFO. I listened to it recently. It's pretty good. There's been kind of like a resurgence because nobody really listened to that when it came out, but there's been like a resurgence of people listening to Jim Sullivan's UFO album. But anyway, he was a guy that was pretty fascinated with UFOs and stuff, and he was traveling across the country in March 6, 1975, and he got pulled over for like swerving, and the cop told him to check into a hotel, so he did. And then he called his, family and told them where he was, and he was in Los Angeles. No. He was in New Mexico somewhere. Santa Rosa, New Mexico is where he checked into the hotel. But the next day they found his car. Long story short, he's never been heard again. It was about a month ago I started like listening to his music. I was going to say you should make a Jim Sullivan poster.
Cool.
But it's pretty interesting. A lot of people, obviously, with him recording an album called UFO and being kind of obsessed with UFOs, a lot of people, like to pretend he was abducted. But in our world, like he's a missing person.
Right.
He's been missing. Another one is this a guy in a band called what are they called?
There is a Help Find Thomas Cook Facebook page too. Interesting.
The Manic Street Preachers. One of their guitar player went missing in the 90s, never been seen again. It's just wild, man. Like just
wow. Yeah, there was another one I was reading about one time too, and I can't think of who it was. It was a musician too that had went missing. It was from a guy from a band, and I can't think of who that was.
That Jim Sullivan was a guy he was originally from Nebraska, so that's kind of close to us, But
yeah,
pretty interesting stuff, man. Just there's so many people just haven't been seen in a long time.
Right.
Far away from home. Haley Davis, any updates on this front?
Not a word. I wish there was. Not a word at all. I wish. Another one missing from here in Salina since July 21st of last year. She was 19 when she went missing. She's now 20. She's 5'6" to 5'7", weighs between 190 and 200 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed bleach blonde, and she has blue eyes. She did leave Salina with a male acquaintance to go to Wichita. She was last active on her social media and last heard from on July 21st of last year. And at the time of her disappearance, she was 19. She's now 20. She's 5'6" to 5'7", weighs between 190 and 200 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed bleach blonde, and she does have blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Haley's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or call Crime Stoppers at 785-825-8477 or text SA Chips to Crimes, which is 274-637, or visit www.pd.salina.org and follow the Crime Stoppers link to submit a tip. Or you can call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-268-4181 or 316-268-4407 or 316-263-6011 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get Haley located and back home to where she needs to be. I did go to that vigil that they had a few months ago in Sunset Park here in town, and I was able to visit with her brother for a little bit and her aunt for a little bit. I got to see her son. I didn't talk to him. He's just a little guy, so I didn't really talk to him, but I did see him, and he's just, rambunctious little guy, but I'm sure he misses his mom. So I know her aunt is hurting, and her brother's hurting, and a lot of other people are hurting, just wanting to know what happened to her, where she's at, if she's even alive or not. So let's do everything we can to help find that out, so they know, because it's been over a year, getting close to a year and a half. Let's just do what we can to help.
So I had told you that website has her on a wanted poster.
Yeah.
Why aren't they pulling that down if it's not?
I don't know. I know they pulled it off the main Salina's Most Wanted, but I don't know why the other ones haven't yanked it yet. But
it's on KSAL. What's KSAL?
That's a radio station here in town. KSAL Radio 1150.
Somebody might call them. Because I don't think that's malicious. They probably just have so much. Somebody should call them and pull that down, because I think that doesn't. That's I don't know. You want people to find Haley, and then you have her on wanted posters on the internet. It's like, I think that gives people a very wrong impression. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it could be hampering efforts in finding her. It really could.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right. I'm not seeing it in all the same places, but it looks like some places are still covering that. So hopefully we can reach out to them.
Yeah, Jessica's got an interesting question here. Anybody know how long someone needs to be missing before cops can get a warrant to get into someone's house? If they're not legally married, don't kids have the rights to approve? I honestly do not know. That is a good question. She also brings up a good point here, too. I think it's crazy how all these people can come up missing with no evidence. Yeah, you think this day and age where cameras are just about everywhere and stuff like that, and people have, cameras on their phones and stuff, that it would be very difficult to go missing without somebody seeing something or a camera seeing something or something. You would think.
I don't know what it is. Like, I know that nobody likes Big Brother and likes the idea of people spying on you, and I think that's why.
Yeah.
So to me, like, I just know how I live, and if anything ever happened to me, like, I'm pretty sure you could just go through my phone and see all of the interactions I've had over the last 10 years, and you can probably get a good idea of who I offended, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like, I heard of a suspicious death here locally that it was just called a suicide. There was really no investigation done, but I talked to the family a couple years later, and they eventually got, their loved one's phone back, and there's a bunch of threatening messages right up to the point where he left this planet of somebody saying they were going to come over and hurt him.
Wow.
And maybe the police can. I think the police can just go through your phone if they find you. I don't know how that works, but to me, I feel like we all carry around a smartphone, and I think our smartphone knows us more than we want to admit, and it knows who we talk to. It knows all of our secrets. So to me, I just think in modern day, if like one of my kids went missing, I would just go through their phone and be like, this person here looks suspicious. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
don't know why we don't, because to me, it's just, That's one of the reasons. Like I mean, I don't break the law because I don't want to, but like, why break the law in 2024? You're going to get caught for sure.
Oh yeah,
You're going to get
I
caught on
mean,
some camera. You're going down.
right. And it's nothing for police to be able to get a warrant and request
Yeah.
your phone logs, all your text messages, all your online activity on your phone, and everything else. So I mean, it's
But
all
just
out
like
there.
Haley Davis, 19-year-old girl. You're telling me you can't go to Verizon or whoever she had service with and just look at all of her text messages and put together within 30 minutes where she is, or a good idea? Like, I
I
just
would
think
hope
that
they
that's a
could.
possibility. I don't know why. And again, I don't know
I would
why
hope
that's
they.
not legalized.
I would hope they did that. You know, I hope they were able to do that.
And
You
again, then
know,
you get into like, I don't think, and again, there's part of me that's like, I don't want the government to be able to just walk into Verizon and be like, give me everything Derek's ever said on this, because that's kind of scary. Like, I haven't done anything
yeah,
weird, but it's just like, but at the end of the day, if somebody's missing for that long, like why not just walk into that cell phone provider and be like, what the hell kind of information is coming in and out of that device that they had,
right,
I don't know.
exactly. And this is another one we've been covering for a very long time too. Dana Bruce, missing from Sedalia, Missouri since October 4th, 2008. She was 23 when she went missing. She's now 39. She's 5'2", 98 pounds. She has brown hair and greener hazel eyes. She was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia. She had left the children there earlier that day so she could go out for the evening. She returned at midnight and gave the babysitter more money and asked her to watch the children for the rest of the night. Dana was seen at Malone's Bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier on the night of her disappearance. She left with that man at 11:30 p.m. Police have identified the man that Dana was with that night. He traveled to Atlanta, Georgia after her disappearance, and police questioned him about Dana after he was arrested there on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. Authorities have not named him publicly, but they are calling him a person of interest in her case. He told his questioners that he and Dana parted ways after they left the bar and never saw her again after that. She left all of her belongings behind, including her hairbrush and her toothbrush. She doesn't have any credit cards, debit cards, checking account, cell phone, or a car. At the time of her disappearance, Dana was 23. She'd now be 39. She is 5'2", weighs 98 pounds. She has brown hair that was colored brown at the roots, black at the ends with red highlights, and greener hazel eyes. She was last known to be wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel and silver lettering on the front and blue jeans. She has a tattoo of a teddy bear with the name Dylan on her upper left arm. She's blind in her left eye. She has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. Her ears are pierced one time each. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance, or you know her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-827-7823 or 660-826-8100, or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178, or toll free 866-362-6422, or you can call Private Investigator Leslie at 910-427-0070 and see if we can't help get Dana located and back home to her family. And here is a comment from Haley's brother. Thank you guys for sharing. It means a lot. You're very welcome, Travis. And I just continually hope that it helps get her found and brought home. I really do. That's why we're going to continue to keep sharing it until, something gives. Eventually, somebody's got to step up and do the right thing and speak up. Because I'm thoroughly convinced that somebody out there somewhere knows the answers and just needs to do the right thing and call it in. Bottom line. Same with Dana. Same with Kenny. Same with Alex. Same with Dietrich. I'm just thoroughly convinced that there's people out there that know. They just need to do the right thing and step up and make the call. That's what they need to do.
5,867 days since Dana went missing.
That's too many. Way, way, way too many.
That's a lot of nights trying to make yourself go to sleep if that's your mom. You're like, oh, that's a lot of nights to sit there and think about.
Yeah.
Like my wife, she lost both of her parents, but like it was like to a heart attack and cancer. You lost your dad to a heart attack, Ricky.
Yeah.
That's where he's at. If you want to go visit your dad, you can go to the cemetery. You can talk to your dad. If you have no idea where your father was, that's crazy. That's a that's not even a loss. You're mid. So if your parent dies, you process it. But if you have no idea if your parents
Right.
alive or dead, but you haven't seen them, like that's you're mid process. You know, that's gotta
Yeah.
be torture.
To me, it's like you're in limbo because you don't know whether to grieve or whether to keep holding out hope. You know, everybody wants to hold out hope and everything, but it's hard to, like, if like you're saying, if you don't know. I mean, if there's nothing coming out, nobody's saying anything, you don't know whether they're here, whether they've passed on or whatever. I mean, it's you're right. You can't process it. You can't deal with it. You can't properly grieve. You know. And my brother was up there asking, have there been any new developments or progress in Dana's case? And her aunt says, no, there's not been any developments in Dana's case. So, and that's terrible. There should be some developments. It's been so many years. Somebody, like, again, somebody knows something. Somebody just needs to do the right thing, step up, make the call, and give them the information they need.
I'd like to talk to the guy she left with that night.
Jessica saying, I think people know, they're just scared because if it leads to finding the person who said something might be investigated. That could be too. Yeah. And there's always fear of retaliation and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, I get it. I know there's that aspect of it, but even still, I mean, that's why they give you Crime Stoppers. You can call anonymously, and you have to leave a name or nothing. They just assign you a number. That's it. So there's really no reason not to call it in.
And I think a lot of people think that I don't know, like if you and a bunch of people know that somebody hurt somebody real bad or killed them,
mm-hmm.
the knee-jerk thought is to be like, man, all 12 of us should be afraid of this crazy person that killed somebody. But I bet you money they're more afraid of you than you'll ever be of them, knowing that they're hoping every day that this fabricated, like, hey, you better not say anything or else. And it's like, or else what? You're gonna be in jail, idiot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, good luck beating me up while you're being questioned by 3 seasoned detectives and they're just taking you down like lumberjacks. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be thinking about me while you're trying to fight for your life in an interrogation room. So, I mean, find power in that. If you know something and you're like, oh, I'm afraid of this person that hurt somebody. Well, I bet you can do way more damage to them than they ever could you.
Right.
Just in reality, in modern day. Jamie Jasmine Zubia Hernandez, Kansas City, Kansas.
Yeah, this is an unsolved homicide, and this one just really gets me worked up too. This is back in May 30th, 2015. 13 years old, Jamie Jasmine Zubia Hernandez. She ran away from her foster home in Wathena, Kansas on June 9th, 2012. Prior to her disappearance, Jamie had recently been prosecuted in a juvenile court for drug possession. She was due in court for sentencing. Shortly after her disappearance, she never showed up and was never seen by her foster family again. There was unfortunately very little media coverage on Jamie's disappearance, likely due to her runaway status, which that's probably true. 3 years later, during the early morning hours of May 30th, 2015, a Kansas City resident called the police to report a shootout in the 2500 block of Ridge Avenue. According to the witness, 2 vehicles fired shots at each other, and a female passenger in one of the vehicles was killed as a result. The female passenger's body was dumped on the side of the road, and vehicles drove off before the police arrived. 2 days later, on June 1st, 2015, authorities announced that the slain female was identified as Jamie. The identity of Jamie's killer remains unknown, as does the identity of the driver in the car that Jamie was riding in when she was shot. Additionally, Jamie's whereabouts from June 2012 to May 2015 still remain a mystery. Although she was ultimately found in Kansas City, it's unknown where she stayed or how she survived during those 3 years. Investigators said they received a tip that Jamie was in Kansas City in 2013, but when they followed said lead, they were unable to find her. At the time, police were searching for a late 1990s or early 2000s white Ford F-150 with flare sides, tinted windows, 20-inch chrome rims, and a touchscreen device in the cab. The truck was located June 2nd, 2015, unoccupied, and was taken and processed for evidence. If you have any information regarding Jamie's murder, please call the Wathena, Kansas Police Department at 785-989-4521 or call the TIPS hotline anonymously at 816-474-8477. or KBI 1-800-572-7463, or you can scan that Say It Here QR code right there, and you can submit information that way. And this one's it's just a heartbreaking case because here's this 13-year-old girl that ran from foster care, was missing for 3 years. Nobody knew where she was. Nobody knew where she was staying or who she was with or anything. And then she shows up dead on the side of the road. Just ridiculous. You know, I mean, I realize Kansas City is a big place when you take into account you got the Kansas side, and then the other side of the river, you got the Missouri side. So I realize Kansas City is a huge place. I get it. You know, it's just a sad situation. And, you know, like I was saying, there was very little media coverage likely due to Jamie's runaway status. And that's more than likely true. I mean, we're starting to see small improvements in that area, but we still have a ways to go. And that's why I continue to do what I do every day on Kansas Missing with these missing juveniles, even if they go missing, you know, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, however many times I need to keep putting a flyer up for them until they stay put, I will do that. I mean, that's just bottom line, you know.
I don't
But
like. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I don't speak in absolutes because, like, I'm really not somebody who thinks that things are always a certain way. But I do think that there's a lot of reasons why everybody in the world, in America, knows who Gabby Petito is, and nobody knew who Jamie Hernandez was.
Right.
I do think the runaway status definitely was a big contributor to there not being the mass outcry that you got for a Gabby Petito. But I mean, do you think that skin color sadly still kind of plays a role in whether or not a story because like you and I and anybody that's along with our page, like any flyer, it doesn't matter what their name is or what color they is, they get a ton of shares. But on a big grand, like, you know, CNN scale, do you think skin color still is an issue?
Sadly, I think that is a little bit. Yeah, I do think so. Yeah. I think I heard it referred to as what did they call that? There was a term that somebody gave it. It was like the blonde hair, blue eyed. I can't syndrome or something like that. I can't remember, but yeah, I think there is some truth to that. I do. Sadly, very sadly, I think they should all be treated equal across the board, but sadly, it doesn't happen. It needs to improve. It really does.
And it sounds like I'm saying, like, who cares about Gabby Petito? I'm not saying that. I think Gabby Petito deserved all the coverage she got. But I think anytime you have somebody missing that's a kid, like, holy crap, stop the presses. You know, like, the Amber Alert's great and everything, but, like, I'll complain, man. Like, currently, from what I've seen, if I get an Amber Alert, I have to do research. They're going to give me a vehicle description, a person's name. At that point, I'm going to have to get on Google and hope there's like, to me, again, thank God we have an Amber Alert system. But I think the way it's just set up is everybody gets a mass text that's just a wall of text. And it's up to the person who was living their life. It's up to that person. Like, to me, like, you know, like Gabby Petito, everybody, you could draw her, you know, because she got so much press coverage. I think it should be the same for all of them, man. Like, if there's somebody missing. And again, that's a tall order. There's a lot of people missing. But it's just kind of rough to see, you know, some of these people go missing and you see their last name and it's not, and you know, there's more skin color, I guess, and you just don't see a lot of coverage on it, and it makes you wonder, like, I wonder why.
Right. My brother brings up he says, I think criteria for Amber Alerts needs to be reevaluated. I agree with that. I think they really need to refigure, you know, there's some things about it that needs to be improved on, because I've seen situations where a child will be, you know, the Amber Alert will come out for a child, but that child been missing for like hours prior to when that alert came out. I don't know why they wait hours to get that Amber Alert out there. Why not get it out there ASAP? I mean, that's just, I mean, you're losing valuable time. You know, I think that's one thing that needs to be looked at.
And again, I don't I don't. I think I can speak for Ricky and say we're not saying stop the Amber Alerts, but it is something that needs to be evolved over time. And I'd like to see an Amber Alert go out right away with a picture of the car, the suspect, and the kid. Like
Right.
just all of them, everybody. Right?
Sometimes I've seen some Amber Alerts where they might have the suspect in the vehicle, but they don't have the child's picture.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, what? And Jessica's saying, so the runaway status raising more than the missing status. Not sure on that one, but it seems recently I've been doing more for runaways than actual missing. And when I started doing flyers for runaways, I never used the word runaway because I just think it puts a label on the child, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's a runaway, it's a bad kid. Well, it's not. That's not true at all. I mean, there's instances where some of these kids wind up in foster care not by their own actions, but their parents' actions. That does happen.
Yeah.
And I don't think people stop to think about that sometimes, but it does happen. My two daughters that I have, we adopted from foster care. They were in foster care not by their actions, but from their birth parents' actions. We started watching my older daughter in our daycare when she was 3 months old. My younger one, we brought her home from the hospital when she was a day old. So of course, there's no way they could have done anything to warrant being put there. But like I said, the birth parents, yeah, definitely.
And I do think that I don't have any statistics in front of me, but typically whenever we do a ton of flyers each week. We have a ton to go through. We've been going a long time. But what I'll say is typically whenever I see something that says like it'll either say a repeat runner or Ricky will say I've made several flyers for this kid.
Yeah.
I just go ahead and assume they're in foster care. Because I don't.
Sometimes that's the case, sometimes not. Yeah.
I just think that foster care, even if the kid in foster care wants to do better and the parents are really good people and want to do better, you're still a kid and adults trying to get along in the same house, and under the best circumstances, that doesn't work out all the time. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So I think anytime you have foster, especially if the kids are older and they're just meeting these parents, I think that's a volatile situation in the form of it's just going to take a while for people to get comfortable. So you do have these kids that take off a lot. But at the end of the day, it sounds like I'm complaining like, well, we got to quit giving them to foster parents. Well, who the hell are we going to give them to? You know what I mean? Because it sounds like their parents, in a lot of cases, lost them because they didn't care for them the way you should. It's like it's just a bunch of stuff that's there's no easy way to fix everything, but I think it's important to be conscientious of the fact that it is a difficult transaction to go through for anybody involved.
And real quick on Jamie's case, doing my research on her case and her flyer, I did see information indicating that they did track down the owner of that white F-150 and question him. And from what I read, the owner said, "Oh well, I'll let somebody borrow it," but they didn't reveal the identity of who it was. So it's kind of crazy. That person knows who had their truck, or so they should have been able to say, "Yeah, such and such had my truck," but they, whatever reason, didn't give out the name. So I don't know. But somebody out there knows who it was, and they may not know who was in the other vehicle that they pulled up next to, but they could at least start out by, giving up the name of the person driving the truck that she was in, so they can at least know who she was with. That needs to be done. But anyway, moving on. This is John R. Jensen, missing from Kerwin, Kansas since June 14th, 2023. Was 52 when he went missing. He's now 54. He's 5'11", 190 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes. He left without his vehicle, his cell phone, or his wallet. Again, he was 52 when he went missing. He's now 54. He's 5'11", weighs 190 pounds, has brown hair and hazel eyes. If you have any information regarding Jonathan's disappearance, of his whereabouts, please call the Phillips County, Kansas Sheriff's Office, 785-543-6885, or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see if we can help get John located and back home where he needs to be. And I'm sure somebody can help with that. They just need to do the right thing. Make a phone call. And Jessica says she also thinks security and after school pickups needs to be better. Yeah. Yep. I mean, there's some crazy things that happen at the schools too. I mean, I saw one the other day. It was in Michigan, I think it was, where a gal took her kids to school, and the husband showed up at the school, and after the kids were in the school, he shot his wife to death right there in front of the school. I was like, holy crap.
Well, speaking of, it's just volatile situations, dude. Like, even on the best intentions, where the parents that are just there to take their kids to school and go to work.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy Jared Peterson, he hosts the Dodge Cast on Back Home Media. He made a Facebook post like 3 days ago, and he's like, man, school drop off, parents are just willing to risk it all.
Really?
Like if you've ever been in a school drop off, like that is it's a volatile situation. You know what I mean? Everybody's trying in a hurry. Everybody wants the same thing. I want my kid to get out of my car and safely into the school. But other than that, please get the heck out of my way. I have got places to go.
Right.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. Well, this has been, past a year now, June. So this is a year and a half ago that Jonathan went missing.
Yeah, it's been a while. Hopefully somebody can help us out and give us some information, or give the authorities information, as to where it happened. Or, we've said it before on the show too, that if people aren't comfortable with that, they can always private message it to me, and I'll send it in for them if they want. I'll keep them anonymous if they want. I've done that plenty of times. So, and all of his children would like to get into his house, but his wife won't let the kids or the cops in. That's not sketchy at all, is it? All of his children would like to get into his house, but his wife won't let the kids or the police in. Not sketchy at all.
Like, that wouldn't be like, okay, lock her up, she did something weird, but it would be, well, why? That's really sketchy that you're not going to let, at least, to me, the weirdest is not letting the family in, but like,
yeah,
you're saying the police can't come in, then that doesn't make you look too great.
No. Yeah, I mean, to your point, yeah, I could, I don't know what kind of relationship his wife had with the kids, but I could see, not wanting family in, but
yeah,
like you say, the police, that's not exactly normal.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. And they probably don't have enough to actually get a warrant to go in and search, so that's probably why they can't.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate. Hopefully that will change. This is Isabel McDowell. She's missing from Spring Hill, Kansas, August 2nd, 2023. She was 16 when she was missing. She's now 17. She is 4'8" to 5'3". Again, I got information from multiple sources, so that's why the range in height and in weight, 100 to 112 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. I don't have information as to where she would be, other than they say that she may no longer be in Kansas, so I'm not sure where she may have fled to. I'm not sure. Again, at the time of her disappearance, she was 16. She's now 17, 4'8" to 5'3", weighs between 100 and 112 pounds, has brown hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Isabel's disappearance, her whereabouts, please call the Spring Hill, Kansas Police Department at 913-782-0720, or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see if we can help get Isabel located and back to where she needs to be.
I saw they found that Garden City girl this last week.
Yeah, they did. His wife also won't talk to the kids or the cops. She said he left because he wanted to be alone.
Sure.
Interesting.
Sure. He just told you that. Hey, let the world know I just want to be left alone. I couldn't be bothered to text my children or coworkers or buddies. Yeah, fishy. Hannah House. And we got to kind of we'll probably just kind of read through these real quick and move along, because I have another podcast to get through. Ricky, right now you're going to make a post, but why don't you kind of go ahead and let everybody know our plan for this next week, with it being a holiday?
Yeah, since we ended up having to move the show from Wednesday to Sunday this week, because I had my department meeting that Wednesday, and Derek and Hope were under the weather that night, and we've decided, since we're doing the show tonight, we won't do one this Wednesday, just kind of too close together, and the with Halloween and everything. So we'll skip this Wednesday, then come back the following Wednesday, which I'll have to remind myself of that. But yeah, but I'll have a post up reminding everybody too. So yeah, this Wednesday there won't be, since we're doing the show tonight, and then we'll pick up the following Wednesday. So November, what day will that be? November 6th. Be November 6th. Okay. So we'll be back on November 6th. Yeah. So mark that on your calendars.
Mark it down.
Okay. And let's see. Hannah House. She's another one missing from Salina. And it's March 5th of this year. She's 17, 5'3", 110 pounds. Blonde hair, blue eyes. I believe she may still be in Salina, or she may be in the Clay Center, Kansas area. Again, she's 17, 5'3", 110 pounds. Blonde hair, blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Hannah's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210. Or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see if we can help get Hannah located and back to where she needs to be. I've been wanting to do a flyer for her for a while, and I couldn't find a picture, and then I just happened to get on National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's website, and I was like, oh, they have one. Good.
Wow.
Jessica's asking, is there any way she can get alerts when you are live? Facebook used to put those out when I would create the live stream. They would put out an alert for it. For some reason, there's issues with that now. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. I try to post it. Not, of course, it comes up on the Kansas Missing and Unsolved page. I also try to put it on my personal page too. So, and somebody typed in there subscribe.
So I did that. So if you want, you can also subscribe to this channel right here on YouTube.
Oh, the YouTube, yeah.
Ricky's live there. We're also live every week on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And then, like he said, Facebook's supposed to tell you, but I don't think it does.
It doesn't. I've had a lot of people tell me that they stopped getting the Facebook alerts, so they never know, and one of them's a coworker of mine out of work, and so I tell her, it's every Wednesday, 9:15, unless something comes up. And Bianca said she is subbed. I don't know if she means to you or me.
There's just, I honestly, man, like me, Ricky, like I hung on to Facebook I love Facebook, and I pretty much, we broadcasted to Facebook. We still go to Facebook. Yeah. But I gotta tell you, man, like, she's like both. I feel way more love from YouTube lately.
Thank you, Bianca. Now, see, that's interesting because I was watching one of Dennis's on Muddy Waters Search and Recovery videos on YouTube, and he was talking about on a particular video that he did that his views have gone down, and he talked about people not getting alerts on YouTube and stuff. So I don't know. Roxanne says she did get the Facebook alert tonight, so I keep saying Facebook suffers from the "if it's not broke, don't fix it" syndrome. So
yeah,
who knows?
Who knows, man?
Oh boy, I'm telling you. This is another one that took me a while to get a photo for, but I finally did. This is Kinga Glover, missing since March 17th of 2023. She was 17 when she was missing. She's now 18. She's 5'5", 180 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She does have a tattoo above her right eye that says Troubles. I'm told that she does periodically reach out to her sister, but she won't reveal where she's at. So if anybody has any information regarding Kinga's disappearance, or her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-660, I need to change that, 9254, or 316-263-6011, or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see if we can't get Kinga located and back to where she needs to be. Let's see here. My personal page is under this name right here, and I will type it into the comments. Just look this name up, and this is my legit, actual, real name. I say that because I have such a bizarre last name. but that is my actual name. It's a Dutch name, I'm told. So. It's not a common one, that's for darn sure.
Well, neither is Relaford.
No, not really.
We got some weird last names, brother.
I'm telling you, man, this is crazy stuff. Yeah, I used to have fun with my teachers when I was in school because they'd always do roll call and stuff on the first day or whatever, and they'd be like, Ricky T T T T, and I would just let them struggle with it for a few minutes before I'd finally speak.
Yeah.
Oh, I was such an ornery kid. This is Naomi Hickles, missing from Wichita, Kansas since March 29th, 2024. She was 17, 5'4", 125 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Naomi's disappearance, her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-660-9254 or 316-263-6011. Or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get Naomi found and back to where she needs to be. All right. This was an interesting one. I tend to, whenever Annette shares some that I don't have, I tend to go ahead and make flyers and share them. This is one of the ones that I did. Based off of her, based off of her sharing it. Trying to open the flyer because that was one I forgot to pull. Okay. This is Kylie, I think it's Balon, I think. I hope I said that right. Missing since October 8th. She's 17, 5'5", 120 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. She may be wearing eyeglasses, and she does have a nose piercing, as you can see on the left-hand photo there. If you have any information regarding Kylie's disappearance, her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-660-9254 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get Kylie located and back to where she needs to be.
And we're just kind of going through these tonight, guys. We're going to get out of here soon, but please tune in Wednesday, November 6th when we come back after the holiday. We will be here. Hope will be here. We'll be ready to go.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. This one's been one. She needs to be found. She's been missing for a long time. And I'm glad to get the picture, the two left-hand pictures and the one on the far right, because I did not have those when I did her original flyer. I just had the second from the right there. And so I was glad to get my hands on those other pictures. Of course, Benita Jaden Wallace, missing from Kansas City, Kansas since October 11th, 2022. So a couple years, a little over a couple of years now. She was 15 when she was missing. She's now 17. She is 5'5", 130 pounds. Her original hair color is brown. Was last known to be dyed black or red, and she has brown eyes. I believe she may still be in the Kansas City, Kansas, Wyandotte County, Kansas area. Again, she was 15 when she was missing. She's now 17. She's 5'5", weighs 130 pounds. At the time of her disappearance, her original hair color is brown, was dyed black and red. The red had faded, and the underside of her hair was shaved, and she had brown eyes. She has a small tattoo of two small black triangles on her upper left arm and a birthmark on the back of her right leg. She was last seen wearing a pink and blue hoodie and blue jeans. If you have any information regarding Benita's disappearance or her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or KBI at 785-296-4017. That scared me. If you have any information on her, get that called in as soon as you can. Your dog just scared the holy living where out of me. And Ronnie says, my last name is Cox, so you know what was done with my name by fellow junior hires. Oh, I can just imagine. I can imagine.
Yeah, May showed up, and my dog did not like that.
Jessica's like, y'all have been worried about using your real names doing these lives. People might try to come for you. I would, I've had that thought cross my mind. I'm just going, more than a few times. I'll just be honest about it, more than a few times. I don't know. I guess I just look at it like I've always looked at it. I guess is the good Lord's got my back, and that's the way I let it. And that's the way I just live my life. The good Lord's got my back.
Yeah. My answer to that is Psalms 27:3.
Yeah.
No weapon formed against me shall prosper.
Right.
That's a nice way of saying good luck. Good luck. No, for real though. Like maybe I used to be kind of, I don't know. Like I really do think, I don't know, if you just watch the news for longer than like 12 hours straight,
Yeah.
I don't see why anybody would be sad about leaving this planet. There's not a lot of good stuff. I mean, look, we're covering this whole show. I love hanging out with Ricky. Me and Ricky are good buddies, but our
Yeah.
whole friendship is based around the fact that people can't find their loved one. It's
Right.
pretty dark. So if somebody wants to do me a favor and send me to heaven, let's do it. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
Did you
This
read
one's
Bradley's?
not yet. I'm getting ready to.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
That's Bradley Kiefer, missing from Topeka, Kansas since July 27th, 2024. He's 54, 6'1", 150 pounds, gray hair, blue eyes. He's also been looked for by Topeka police in relation to an ongoing investigation, although they never said what in their Facebook post. And he's 54, he's 6'1", 150 pounds, gray hair, blue eyes. Last seen wearing a white t-shirt, blue jeans, and gray Vans shoes. If you have any information regarding Bradley's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9200 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. Or you can call the Shawnee County Crime Stoppers at 785-234-0007 and see if we can help get Bradley located and back to where he needs to be.
3 more flyers, and we'll get out of here. Hope and May will be live here at 9 p.m., so really soon. And thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you November 6th.
Yeah. Let's see. This is Lakeland Bale. She has been missing from Wichita, Kansas since October 17th of this year. She's 16, 5'3", 120 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed black and brown eyes. Last known to be wearing a black hoodie, black shirt, black and white pajama pants. If you have any information regarding Lakeland's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-660-9254 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can help get her located and back to where she needs to be. Oops, hit that. Okay. And this is one I just recently did, missing out of Garden City. Another one. See if I have her flyer pulled or if I need to find it. I think I need to find it. It won't take me a second, though. Oh, my goodness. Trying to keep up with all these sometimes is kind of hard.
Yeah. I can read it if you want me to.
Oh, give me just a second here. I found it.
Yeah.
Doggone it. Just found it. Okay. This is Britzy, and not sure how to pronounce the last name. Karak. I'm guessing. I don't know. I hope I said that right. If I didn't, I apologize profusely. Missing since October 21st of this year. She's 16, 140 pounds, 5'6", 140 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. She was reported as a runaway on October 21st after leaving her residence in an unknown direction of travel located in the 100 block of Honeybee Court in Garden City. That morning, following an argument, and has still not been located. She is 16, 5'6", 140 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Last seen wearing a white t-shirt, gray sweatpants, and gray Crocs. If you have any information regarding Britzy's disappearance, or you know her whereabouts, please call the Garden City, Kansas Police Department at 620-276-1300 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can help get Britzy located and back to where she needs to be. I wish we had more than just that photo. I haven't been able to get one yet, but hopefully. Yeah, Roxanne brings up a good point there. If you're on social media, your name's out there no matter what you do.
Yeah.
It's true.
I have a Rottweiler. He'll show you, but he's stupid. He'll probably show him where we're sleeping.
This is Lucas Horacek, missing from Salina, Kansas since October 21st, 2024. He's 19, 6'1", 270 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. His hair is now longer than what's shown in the photo, I'm told. If you have any information regarding Lucas's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Lucas located and back to where he needs to be. This is an interesting case because the original flyer I did was the 21st, and he was cleared, and then he's back on there again, and it's just bizarre because I guess he called the police department. They cleared him by verifying a name and date of birth, which is not protocol. So his family got him listed again. So I got his flyer going again. Derek's got company.
Yeah.
Was that the one that scared the heebie-jeebies out of me?
No, that's Benji. He's the one that's old.
Oh, okay.
He just saw people Benji, when he sees people in the room having fun, he just yells.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
All right, bro. Go protect the land. Go away. Good show, brother.
Yeah, good show. Yep. Another good one. Unfortunately, it wasn't the regular night, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you a week from Wednesday on, what did I say, November 6th? Is that what I said?
Yeah, November 6th.
Yeah, November 6th. Yeah. Yep, November 6th. Yep. But just we'll wrap it up like we always do. And Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight so we could go through these missing persons cases and unsolved homicides. And I just pray that somebody out there that has the right information that can bring somebody home or solve an unsolved murder will step forward and do the right thing and call that information in and so we can get some answers for some families. I pray for that all the time. Until we see you guys again on November 6th, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, God bless, and amen.